Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on Humanity Healing. And welcome to all of you who will arrive here this morning. I offer you my peace, my light, and my love. Thank you. I see somebody arriving, and that means I'm online, which is always a wonderful place to be for me, especially on Fridays here on Humanity Healing with my greater worldwide family. I want to thank you all for all that you're doing right now during this time of challenge for all of us around the world. For those of you who are not able to get out and enjoy nature, I send you the gift of joy to be in your heart and know that you will be out there eventually, that this will not last forever. And that brings me to the topic of my talk today, a new dream breaking through. And I didn't really have the title until I finished writing my blog notes. This is an extremely tough time for all of us. Nobody is being left out of the equation of what to do or how to deal with this. And so this morning, when I sat down to write my show notes and to tap into my guides and what cards they were going to pull, it was interesting because I kept pulling cards and the answer was no, 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 no. And then I realized that I was thinking from my ego rather than my spirit. And it was a reminder of how what we're going through with this virus is affecting all of us, no matter who we are. And I'm not any different than any of you. Marilyn, good morning. Glad you're here today. Good morning, Joni. Stay healthy. Yes, staying healthy in any way we can is what's needed right now. So the first card I was guided by my guides to pull is from the Soul Inspiration cards of Kalia, who is a friend of mine named Mia Leventhal, who lives in France and created these cards. We've been, I guess you would call it, friends over the network here for years. We were brought together through our poetry. And her message in this card here, it's a beautiful card of the picture of the ocean, and the words are written on it. And it's just a tranquil vision of a shoreline at the beach. And it was probably taken after a storm, because the words that she wrote to this are, "Every storm brings with it a hidden gift, sweeping out the worn out, bringing us to a fresh new sprout. The clouds slowly disappear, a new shining sun is near. Breaking through our old self-restrictions, we burst into life with new vitality and without fear." How appropriate is that for what we're experiencing right now? I'm going to post that in the sideline for you all to have. So how appropriate is that really to look at what we're going through now is a storm, a very severe storm, one unlike which we've ever had before in the history of humanity. The message is one of promise, a new shining sun is near. And the last line is, with new vitality, we burst into life with new vitality and without fear. So for those of you who are experiencing fear right now, I want you to really learn to trust who you really are as a divine soul that with a direct connection to all of creation. And know that these viruses are not new to humanity or to planet Earth. They are a natural part of the evolution of all life forms. Be it said, it's not a pleasant experience, whether we contract the virus or whether we have loved ones in our family who contract the virus. And as we see now, we have governments who are, I'm not going to judge them, but sometimes creating as much fear as they are assistance and guidance through this. But we have to remember that governments are contrived of groups of people. And our history has been that groups of people tend to create distortion rather than harmony. And so this is part of what the new dream breaking through is about, is when this is over, perhaps we can return to a time where we co-create together for the good of everyone, not just my company or my country or my race or whatever we choose to continue to practice separation with. It's about coming back into unity as this beautiful divine species we call humanity. So I say all of this with great compassion for all of you who are experiencing this virus. Whether you're losing loved ones, whether you have it yourself, or you're living in a state of limitation and you can't get enough food or enough supplies to comfortably sustain yourself, I send you my peace, my light, and my love, and try to assure you that there will be better days coming, and we will all be changed by this. So in this message above, there is a message of the future where we burst into life with new vitality and without fear. That's a key place right now for all of us are dealing with fear. And as a result of that, our vitality is being diminished. It's a natural process. Nothing we can do, we can't force our thoughts to change the procedure. But what we can do is to embrace the fear when it comes up and try to step outside of it. Try to pull ourselves back out of it, because it's just energy that has been distorted and charged. And we as magnificent beings have the power to control that energy. But we've not necessarily been told and taught that, because if we did, we wouldn't have all of these power structures in the world that control us. And that is something those who are in control do not want us to access and express. So I asked each one of you to think what it might look like for you to be completely free of your fears. To what would it be like to not dismiss what's going on, to realize and know what's going on, but not allow it to raise your fear level to a place where you're affecting your physical body. That's when we weaken ourselves and the virus can enter and take hold and root itself. So it's up to us to maintain this balance of energy within us so that we're doing all that we can within ourselves to be these sovereign beings. And sovereignty isn't about controlling others. Sovereignty is really about accepting the truth of your own power and living and expressing that without harming others. So I had 3 questions come up. What is coming up in your minds right now that you might feel regret about? What is no longer acceptable within your heart about your life path? What changes are you willing to make in order to make to create more alignment with your highest self? I'm going to put those 3 questions in the box down here as well. Because it's important for us right now to question everything. Question everything as to how am I relating to this? How am I relating to being held captive in my house, so to speak? How am I relating to what other people are agitated about? How am I relating to all of this energy around me? So it's a time of deep self-reflection and releasing, not manifesting fearful thoughts. So when the fearful thoughts arise, it's our responsibility to release them. They're actually asking us to release them. But we don't hear them as a question. We don't hear them as a plea from our inner heart saying, please release me. This is what is happening. Some will and some won't. And I can only encourage you to face whatever fears are coming up, whatever beliefs you're beginning to question right now, and to look at them and ask yourself, do I really need to continue this dialogue? Or can I find something else to focus on that is more uplifting, that is more enriching for my mind and my physical body? Everybody around the world is included in this. There's nobody this is not happening to. Everybody is embracing fearful thoughts. As I say, it's an opportunity to see our beliefs and truly ask if they're still valid. Or were they created to serve a dream? A dream we may have had about ourselves at a very early age in our lifetime. Or perhaps a story we were told by those who governed us as parents and teachers when our minds were not fully able to complete the sentences which would fulfill our lives. All of us have been through this. All of us are going through this. There is no separation anymore. So I asked my guides to pull some cards. And when I say that, I ask my guides, the reality is all of us have guides. All of us have guides who are going to inform us and encourage us to remember that the dream is ending and a reawakening or new dawn will arise out of this. This new dawn will present us with many challenges, opportunities, thought forms, conversations with ourselves, to let go of old habits and desires that we thought were important. We are reevaluating our presence of light. The show name, our presence of light. We are reevaluating our presence of light and its relationship to the world around us and each other. This is no small task, and that's why we are being guided continually. Whether we thought these beings were real, whether they thought they were folklore, fairy tales, fanciful dreams. So the message that I received this morning was to find companionship with the elementals of nature, to work with the planetary energies, Mother Earth's energies, that create a better cohesiveness amongst all life. We can no longer play in this dream of we are separate and we are the kings and rulers of everything. Because as you can see, this little tiny speck, this living speck of life, this virus, has the power to not come intentionally to destroy us, but can it destroy us in its own spreading of itself. So I'm not trying to be morbid here, and I want to get to the cards. I want to look at the show notes here that you're saying, because I value what you're saying. And so some of you are talking about how you're relieving your inner, and you're listening to your inner voice, you're going to the gardens, you're some of you believing that the virus is man-made, believe it's part of societal brainwashing. Why is there struggle? Evil surrounds us. And the last one in the line was, we go back to nature and it's lesson, believing everything that makes life so easy. All of your comments are perfect, because what they're expressing in this small group is what everybody around the world is expressing right alongside of you. It's a time where we're questioning the reality of who we are, why we're here, and what the hell is going on. None of us are left out of that energy. So the first two cards I pulled after Mia's card were from the angel deck of Kimberly Maroney. And there were two cards stuck together. And one is, I don't know if I can say this right, Ong Kanon, and the other one is Ramelia. Two angels, one representing, so I can get these up here, one representing joy and one representing communication. Random shuffling of the deck and pulling. Communication and joy. The numbers of the cards are 22 and 44. Magical numbers. Linked together. 44 is the last card in the deck. And I start with that and come backwards. And start with the 20 and go forwards. And either way, the messages are uniquely tied together. The middle of the deck and the end of the deck. So communication from Om Kanon is God's messenger who offers love and guidance as you progress on your way home, whose job it is often to part the veil of illusion and connect you to your eternal self. The message here is to seek the truth within you and in all of your relationships, to discern what is true for your highest expression of self. And I put capital S self. What is true for your highest expression of self? This is going to pull us out of all of this, is connecting to that higher self and trusting it. Trusting its connection to all it is. To guide us in releasing what is anchoring us to this negativity of life that we've been living in for a long time. More than just our lifetime. The second card, Ramelia, joy is not something to be acquired. Like true happiness, lasting joy is your natural state and may only be found deep within. To feel joy is a spontaneous and contagious gift of grace. Goes on to say, catch it from a bubbling brook, the song of a bird, or a radiant flower newly opened. And then pass it on to those you encounter during the day. Now, our encountering of people is limited right now for many of us. But whether you do it on social media or on the telephone or in a written letter to somebody, let's try to express joy. Because in that process of expressing joy, what we're doing is shifting the energy. Just that simple act of expressing joy of some kind. We are actually changing the energy into a positive field, which is not where the virus wants to dwell. So, number 44 there, communication, says something good is coming your way. Kuan Yin urges you to weave your future into the present moment, to call in and draw you to the opportunities, teachings, circumstances, and synchronicities waiting for you. that will enable your soul to live its divine destiny with greater abundance, bliss, and creative fulfillment. It's almost a promise. It's almost a promise to say, if you really communicate from your heart, truly communicate from your heart, goodness and creative flow will create greater abundance, not just material abundance, but spiritual abundance for you and the person you communicate with. The Princess of the Autumn Harvest, which is the second card, brings gifts of bounty and blessing for efforts and actions of the past. It's a time when the fruit of labor is ripe for picking. A beautiful blessing is on its way to you now. So that speaks of, as we embrace our higher self and work with joy and work with kindness and shift our negative thoughts and forms that we've been dragging with us for so long and carrying on, repeating. And we keep saying, I don't know how to stop. When we let all of that go in this quiet, we have an opportunity to let it go now. To just say, you no longer serve me. And in doing that, beautiful blessing, the ripe fruit, the hanging apples and fruit of the garden will be ripe for picking. And we will be able to choose better when this is over what is best for us and everyone around us. And what these cards are telling us really is that we've reached a point in our evolution where many of us will have this backwards journey through all that doesn't serve us, personally or collectively, as the human children of this solar system. We're part of a greater whole than just humanity. We're part of a greater whole than planet Earth. We're part of a whole, and even more so, that we call our solar system. Everything that's influenced by our solar being, we call the sun. Doesn't matter where you go, within that range of that sunlight, we are still children of the sun. We always have been. And it's time now where this destruction, this path of destruction that we've been on, ends. It's the end of the road, the end of the line. There will be many who are going to continue that path. I don't know what's going to happen to them. Nor am I concerned, because that's their conscious choice. And so do we have this conscious chase to be at this point to say, where am I going to go? Am I going to align with this greater whole that I know is powerful and is filled with light? Or am I going to allow all my past experiences make me choose the darkness, the emptiness, the fear? So my hope for all of you who tuned into these messages is to remain calm and to take the time to deepen your relationship with your connection to the natural body of our Earth Mother, and know in your hearts that as we sow, so shall we receive. It's not a trite statement. As we sow, so shall we receive. And you can ask any farmer. You can ask anybody that works in a garden. It takes a lot of work to take the seed that we are being right now to flourish. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be painless. But we are ready right now to make that move as a collective whole. And I know that everyone that shows up, people that are listening to Humanity Healing, etc., their minds are in alignment with your hearts. And that's what's key, is to not allow the fear to rise to the point where it distorts your whole energy field. And if it does get to that point, find a way to step out. Listen to music that have different frequencies. I'm trying to think, is it 528 hertz? It works on your heart. You know more than I do about a lot of this. And I ask you to tap into your little bag of tricks and work with them. Because you have been, how do I say that? You have been brought into certain modalities and certain ways of healing in order for you to utilize them now. It's no more, we're not playing with the toys anymore. They are now going to be the tools with which we are going to sow and receive the light, the peace, the love that we truly are. In closing, it's just dramatically unbelievable. This book fell off the off the shelf over here just as I was signing on, and I opened it up. And so this is a little closing meditation for each of you. Be still in mind and spirit. Breathe gently and deeply. Breathing in the stillness and peace which is from God. Let all the disquiets of the outer world fall away as you withdraw into the small white and gold temple within. On the altar of light, here in your innermost, burns the still white flame. Kneel before the flame. Gaze upon it until you become the flame. Its light fills your being, and its radiance encompasses the whole earth. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you. I'll read all your later. Thank you for all the work you are about to do in this world for the good of all creation. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the children of the sun. We are both Hu, which is God, and man. And I don't say that as a masculine, feminine thing, just as a physical body. I honor and love each and every one of you. I am you. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. And together, we will make it through all of this. Have a great week. Be at peace. And share your light with others wherever you are. Because it's your light that we need to shine brightly. Thank you all for showing up. and I'll see you next week. Have a good one, please. And if you reach out to me, I will speak. Part of all of this is to be available. Bye-bye.